So today we're going to start our journey to winning at least one game in 270 U.S. election with each and every candidate. So I put some thought into how I wanted to line up which candidates we play as and in which order. And I think that the best way we're going to go, just because I'm not that great at the game yet, we're going to start at the candidates that have the highest overall earning potential between both the state groups and the national groups. And that's all considered without vice president bonuses. I have vice presidents unlocked for a few candidates, so we'll probably keep those just to make the journey a little bit easier for us. We have 141 candidates to play through right now, with a new candidate being added every week. So we've definitely got some progress to make. So today we're going to play as Crooked Hillary. Crooked Hillary comes in with a 35% African American state group bonus, a 30% Latino, 30% high tech, 35 export driven, 35% town and gown, 25% youth vote. With the VP bonus, we have a 42% labor and environment, a 45% women's movement, and we even managed to pull off a 10% big conservative bonus. So even if we get lined up against another Democrat in our game, we'll have the opportunity to pull in that national group if that's how the game unfolds. As far as penalty goes, oil and gas, we have a 30% penalty, 10% penalty to manufacturing base, 23% for the Old South, 40% for big conservatives. So with our 10% bonus there, we end up with a negative 30% bonus, negative 40% bonus for evangelicals, and a negative 50% for the gun lobby. So that being said, let's go ahead and choose the candidate. Go ahead and start the game up here. We're going to play with a 3-minute timer just to make it a little bit easier to play through the turn summaries. If you do the 1-minute timer, that can be a little bit too short to then get your game off, especially in the later game. Now the way that I'm going to stream this, I'm going to play through the game. I'm only going to record for the first however many rounds it takes to get towards the end of the game. Once we start to get towards the end of the game, I'll add some commentary throughout the entire round. But for these first few rounds, I think the best way for it to do it, just to save some time, will be for me to edit down the actual playing, and then we'll talk about the round as we work through the turn summary each round. Let you know kind of what my thoughts were on why I made the moves that I moved, and we will see from there. So it looks like we're playing, I'm not even going to try the name there, Earnhardt something, but Donald Trump, and I believe that's 2020 Trump. So he's going to have some definite bonuses. Let's see the profile here. 25% oil and gas, 25 manufacturing, 25 Old South, and then 20 each for big conservative and evangelicals. Loses a quarter for African American, Latino, town and gown, export, and then 20% for women's movement and labor and environment. So definitely we kind of complement each other in that way. So I hopefully won't have too much competition going for what I'm going to go for. Just to kind of lay out the early strategy, we do have some huge bonuses here for the national groups. Normally in a 1v1, national groups can be kind of risky, just because you can end up a little bit too far behind before you get started. But given Trump's bonuses, I feel pretty confident that New York and California may still be available to us if we go for the nationals. So I am going to go for women's movement and labor and environment. Right off the bat, that'll also give us the opportunity to see how Trump's going to play. So that's how we'll start the game. But yeah, I will check in at the turn summaries. Alright, so Trump moves in on Alabama, Florida, Georgia. I took one pip in the labor and environment. He's going for North Carolina and South Carolina. So he's definitely pushing for that Old South bonus right off the bat, which is the easiest group to unlock as far as total cost required. So yeah. Trump moves again on Alabama and Georgia. I went ahead and closed out what I needed to get labor and environment. That gives us 71.2 thousand per turn. Trump's moving in on women's movement, which I think was just to screw with me. Although now that I'm going for the 90 groups, he may try to capture those as well. We'll see how that goes for Trump. Okay, so Trump moved on Louisiana again, solidifying his Old South group. I did play one pip on North Carolina, and I went ahead and pulled out the women's movement for another 54.4 thousand per round. So now we have, 125,000 essentially that we're going to be over top of Trump without any of the state group bonuses. So that should give us a nice little boost here early on. We are going to be playing for North Carolina. I don't quite have enough to close it out fully, but we will play up all of the pips, and then we'll sit on the 39,000 here. Trump plays good conservative. And Louisiana, another pip on Mississippi. We're going to have Carolina now, North Carolina. He did capture the youth vote. Again, I'm not sure really where he's going. He doesn't have any bonuses on youth group. That might have just been to keep us from getting it, but I wasn't planning on spending the money there anyways. So I think this turn what we'll do is we'll close out North Carolina and we'll play our first pip on Florida as well. Okay, so we played 4 on Florida, which gave us the lead. Trump plays 1 on Maryland. We played 2 on Pennsylvania to lock it down. Trump played on Virginia. We did as well. I didn't say that we would, but I figured it's a cheap enough state that we could go for it. Now that we have the swing state bonus, we'll have a little bit of extra money to play with. Going into this turn, we're going to use the swing state money to solidify on Pennsylvania and Florida, just to make sure Trump's 275,000 he has. He can't go ahead and take anything from us, and then the rest of the money we'll use to start moving in on as a pip on Pennsylvania. So we'll get that swing state bonus, so we can start to close out the swing states while then we start to move on New York and California. Trump plays on Alabama again. We did play our pip on Florida. Trump now should get the Old South bonus, which will be good for him for Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. We did close out North Carolina, so no risk to us losing that. The Old South bonus doesn't play on Florida, so that won't help him at all for the battle there. We do have quite a bit of money available, so we will go ahead and take the significant lead there in Florida. That leaves us with 188. And I think that's all. Okay, so Trump continues to spend money in the Old South. We're not really contesting any of those states. Georgia would be good for our African American bonus, but we'll be able to get it with Michigan and Illinois. Pennsylvania he did move on, but we kind of followed that, which should give us a safe closure on Pennsylvania. The 2 pips on New York should be there. We're going to play 1 more there, and I think we're going to try to close out Pennsylvania this round. So Trump's going to use his Old South on Arkansas. He's going to play on Connecticut and Delaware. I went ahead and I also added Illinois and Michigan to our play this round. It looks like he might be going for the tech bonus by playing in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and he did actually play in Michigan as well. So we'll have to go ahead and close out Michigan this next round. We'll have the money advantage, so we should be able to. And that'll also help us with our African American bonus. Still looking like we have a significant money advantage, so shouldn't be too much of a risk there. If we have any swing state money left, I'm probably going to play on Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado just to get them started. Those are easy to close out, so we'll see. Okay, Okay, so we did play on the 3 states out west. We didn't have quite enough to close on Michigan, but we got from one bit to the end, so that should be enough to discourage him. Easy closure for us. He did also play on California, so that's interesting. He's trying to get his oil bonus, which would also give him a tech bonus, which we can see that he's trying to get, so we'll have to turn our attention to California pretty quick. But it's a great round for us. We locked up our African American bonus. That's another $135,000 we can spend. Now he has most of the Old South, so I don't know that we're going to go in and try to spend that money there. I think we can give up those votes without too much risk, but we might have to go for one of the larger states like Georgia. So Trump plays on DC, Delaware. We did play pretty heavy in Georgia, we started in Georgia. We're going to try to play heavy there moving forward. Trump's going ahead and activating a lot of these states. He's closing out a few states starting out. We played our final pick in Michigan to lock it down. And we actually went ahead and we stole Virginia as well, using some of that swing state money. So that's locked down in our favor now. No new bonuses for this round. Money spent was about the same. I did save right around $300,000 of my money. I'm going to be playing in California soon, so I'm just building up a base. So after that first pip, I can go ahead and jump ahead of Trump in California. Okay, so this round we went ahead and we added a little bit out west. We took the lead in California with 2 pips. I did spread some votes around, or some actions around on the top of the mountain, northern mountain states and the Midwest states, just to kind of, while we have the money advantage, start to lay the foundation for a forced vote if we need it. Trump did tie us in Georgia, so that cost us quite a bit of money, but again, I was using the African American bonus, so it actually ends up hurting Trump a little bit more, I think. So I think we're going to continue to do that. I think the conflict in Georgia, even though it costs us a little bit more, overall I think we're still coming out ahead there. And we're up to 244 votes total, so I do think we'll start to move towards forcing the vote. We'll have to close out a few more states before we hit our 100 electoral votes locked up, but we might as well start playing in all the states at this point. I also think that I am going to try to lock down Minnesota and maybe Missouri to get the town and gown bonus at this point too. So this turn, Trump goes in and plays in Arizona. We activated California. Trump plays in Colorado. We added a pip to Florida. Trump goes ahead, and I gave him Georgia. I figured we could afford to lose it. Played a little bit more in Illinois with the African American bonus, and used our swing state money to start in Wisconsin and Iowa, as well as a pip in New Hampshire. Our 3 Southwest states, Trump's playing in on all 3 of them, so we'll probably use this turn to go ahead and close those out. We did lock up the Latino vote and the high-tech vote by activating California. We also got the agriculture and the export-driven and town and gown. So I think we pretty much have the funding in the bag on this one. It's our game to lose. So we'll go ahead and we'll force the vote pretty soon just to kind of make it a quick one. So this round was a big spend for us. We went ahead and spent a little over $1 million. We did close out the 3 Southwest states. We'll see if Trump ties us on any of them. Looks like he did on Colorado. We'll see about New Mexico. But we got Arizona for sure. And then we played a pip on all of the open states, just so once we're ready with our 100 electoral votes, it'll force the ballot. We could have done this a little bit later maybe to not give Trump a chance to play in those states as well. But I'm fairly confident with our advantage on that. I think we can hold it off either way. And then we'll just start to kind of lock down some states and head towards a finish here. I don't think Trump's going to do anything too surprising to us. It does look like he tied us in New Mexico as well, so Colorado and New Mexico will have to fight for again in the next round. also probably try to close out this round as well, since it has quite a few electoral votes, and we can use our export-driven high-tech bonus to support that funding. We're up to 390 electoral votes, so once we force the ballot, as long as we don't give back too much ground, we should be good to go. Trump must have over 100. I don't think we're quite there yet, but it does look like this will be the ballot round. So all we have to do is play one pip in all the states that Trump has not played in yet, and then make sure that we secure enough of a lead in the states where he has played, that we don't give up too much territory. So let's go ahead and lock down the finish, and I will see you at the election. Oh no, he ran out of time. So we actually didn't have enough time to play any of our moves. So that's not a good thing for us. Given our 0 spend, Trump may have a field day here. Let's just see. He didn't have enough money. So he did only manage to take 42, even though we made a huge failure there at the last round. We gave up 42 of our votes, but it looks like it would not be enough for Trump to come back and take the lead. So for the ballot, the presidency has been decided, and it looks like Crooked Hillary will take office with 348 to 190 electoral votes and a 90 to 45 million popular vote addition. So that's a pretty good win for Crooked Hillary. Not to be surprised, she is, as far as funding goes, the most popular, the strongest, especially with the vice president, strongest candidate in the game. So not quite a fair match in my opinion, but we are working through all 141 candidates. So we had to play with her sometime, so we started at the top. We're working our way down. Definitely stay tuned. Come back and watch as we work through some of the other candidates. We will see you next time.